I just left the courtroom for the bond hearing for my son, for the lease for the third time. This time it was very fair. The judge was very fair. He wasn't pro-prosecutor. He wasn't pro-defense, but he was pro-justice.
The latest Lil Durk court hearing finally put a release date on the table, but it also opened a whole new can of problems. And this part got people talking fast. The courtroom updates didn't just stop at dates. They pointed straight to more alleged insiders turning on Durk, and that shook the whole situation up immediately. People inside the hearing said Durk looked way slimmer than before. And on top of that, he cut his dreads, which only fueled the rumors even more. The judge then ran through a stack of key rulings. The motion to disqualify was denied. The motion to dismiss for vagueness got shut down too. And the motion for a bill of particulars was taken under advisement. The judge also allowed both sides to submit extra responses, while the motion to dismiss Count 4 is still hanging in the air under advisement. All of this sparked heavy concern around Durk's camp and instantly set off a heated debate on the No Jumper podcast, where opinions were flying everywhere. Some saw danger, others saw strategy, but nobody was calm about it.
Remo, this is my last No Jumper. Durk Torre told me I wasn't supposed to come back up here with that last.
Now look what happened to him.
That man got kids. You talking about look what happened to him.
Definitely not happy about him.
I wouldn't be happy if you go to jail, Adam, because I know you got daughter. Break down.
There's multiple people who are no longer there for their kids as a result of that Durk allegedly called in.
Until they put that on black and white, sir. Stop throwing stuff on a black man who's trying to do something right for the community right now.
The feds have already put out a lot of information about this.
You don't have to put it out. You don't have to put it out. This is a major platform.
You're not the boss of me. We talk about rap on here. I think it is well within our jurisdiction to talk about the fact
jurisdiction?
That
what type of police
has been alleged to have ordered them.
Free smirk though,
Free smirk. But also,
maybe police platform. There's some police.
Just sit down for a little and decide, hey, maybe I'm not anybody else.
We don't have no proof that.
We don't. From the defense side, though, Durk's lawyers called part of this a major win, and here's why. Prosecutors admitted there's a snitch who allegedly showed them an iMessage group chat tied to OTF, and that alone shifted the energy. Federal prosecutors claim Durk is being accused of ordering hits on OTF-linked members over issues connected to retaliation after King Von's death, which is a serious allegation.
To life by basically saying he's guilty of for hire, and the only thing that, like, yes, some of these things look suspect. Why'd you go there? Why are these people going there? Why'd you send this message? But nothing. There's no message that they got that says where Durk says, y'all that Quando yet? Nothing says that.
No, you missing the point. Okay. They got a witness already cooperating on that. Been had one. We just ain't seen what they said. It's 3 years. One of the cooperating.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so that's co-conspiracy too.
Yeah, I don't know. You don't need too much more than that. One of them is cooperating. Then in the paperwork, you got the conversation. They say they had it in and out. The other 2 was figuring out how they getting paid.
The prosecution says they plan to bring in testimony from a witness who claims Durk gave direct orders, and those claims are already listed in the evidence files. Reports also mention tensions with certain members over claims they weren't moving how Durk expected after Von passed, and both WAC 100 and Academics jumped in publicly to react to the situation.
And that's what Didi did. He's basically saying all this evidence y'all got against Durk got nothing to do with me. Why you got me charged with Durk? And that doesn't mean he's going against Durk. That just means he wants his case severed. And I'm telling you, if it's severed, it helps Durk. Because one of the main connective tissue to this conspiracy is saying that Durk told Didi to hire. Didi's saying, I ain't get told to hire nobody. And I ain't hiring nobody. What are you talking about? Why would I hire someone? That's his thing.
But now the plot twists again. New paperwork suggests the main witness may not be solid at all, and some believe he could be playing both sides. Documents show he first said there was no bounty, then later flipped and claimed there was one, which has fans questioning everything. Many believe the person feeding info to the feds is OTF Didi, and now that name is ringing loud because he's reportedly trying to slide his way out of his own criminal case. That alone raised eyebrows, because timing like that never looks random in cases this serious. Because of all this movement behind the scenes, some good news quietly landed for Durk. Prosecutors now want to introduce multiple pages of new evidence. And while that sounds bad on the surface, it actually slows things down. That delay could give Durk's legal team extra time to push hard for a bond release, which is exactly what they're aiming for right now.
Just left the courtroom for the bond hearing for my son for the release for the third time. This time it was very fair. The judge was very fair. He wasn't pro-prosecutor. He wasn't pro-defense, but he was pro-justice. So he listened to all the evidence and, and he's going to give a ruling in the next few days about what his position is for the bond. But we were very pleased at how it turned out. So continue, family, friends, and fans, continue to keep us in your prayers. And we thank you. And inshallah, God willing, this be victorious for us, that we have a good ruling in our favor.
Still, the charges themselves are heavy. The case includes allegations tied to arranging an attack connected to Lil Tim. And on top of that, there's a separate incident prosecutors are trying to pin on Durk involving Quando Rondo. According to federal filings, they believe Durk had something to do with an attempted incident at a Georgia gas station back in 2021, and they're reaching for every angle to support that claim. One angle they're leaning on is music and timing. Court documents point to a lyric where Durk raps, "They on my page like slide for Vaughn," and they're trying to stitch that line together with statements made later on a podcast. Durk himself said on that podcast that he stopped reading comments completely, and now prosecutors are trying to build a timeline around when the song dropped and when the interview aired.
Now the search is on for 3 people who police say at a Savannah rapper, a member of his entourage. It happened in Los Angeles, and cameras captured the aftermath.
This man, a passenger in that car, frantic at the sight.
Here's where it gets tricky. The song came out in October 2021. The podcast clips began dropping in May 2023, and the incident involving Lil Pab happened in August 2022. Prosecutors claim that timeline lines up, but Durk's lawyers put an offer on the table so strong that people believe the judge might actually have to consider it seriously. This all happened right as prosecutors quietly backed off one of their loudest moves, the lyric evidence they were trying to use against Durk. At first, the feds leaned hard on rap lyrics, pointing to lines like, "Told me they got an Addy, they got the location, look on the news, see your son screaming," trying to spin that into something criminal. But then suddenly, that lyric angle got tossed out and that shift didn't go unnoticed at all. Durk's lawyer didn't hold back either. He publicly blasted the feds and straight up said the charges were a joke, making it clear the defense thinks this case is being stretched way past solid ground. That statement alone sent shockwaves through the conversation online.
The case is as follows. So there was an indictment that did not name him, right? It named others, and then there was an unindicted person. And then 3 weeks later, that indictment was what's called the first superseding indictment, and it does name him. The indictment was identical, except the unnamed person now became Durk Banks. And this is the really important part, Act. The second indictment, what's called the first superseding indictment, only had one new fact. It had one new fact, and that was it alleged that there was a video by Durk that celebrated and monetized this.
But while Durk sits behind bars waiting, the pressure hasn't slowed down one bit. Federal prosecutors are still digging, still collecting info, and now they're allegedly cutting deals with people connected to Durk to lock everything in tighter. The goal looks clear: enough cooperation to make sure Durk faces the fullest sentence possible. One name raising serious questions is OTF VNI. His court records were quietly updated, showing he's no longer in custody, which usually points to house arrest or some kind of deal. That alone had fans connecting dots fast.
I'm gonna give you this. It's a back door and I got all the pieces. That's all I'm gonna tell you. As Durk asked Vonnie, is it open? Vonnie told him it's off the hinges.
Wait. Are you talking about the Vaughn? Like King Vaughn?
Listen very carefully. When the payment was made to Little Tim, the next day or the same day, Durk asked Vonnie, was it open? This is what he asked him. Was it open? It was the exact words, was it open? He told him it's off the hinges.
Are you saying that Vonnie backdoor King Vaughn? No way. That was right here.
You heard what I just said. Guess what? You need motive first, right? I got bankers. I got bankers that'll testify that or will make a contract or make a statement to you and let you know that this is the amount of money he had, this is what he had, this is that another. You need motive first and foremost. I got text messages from the lawyer letting you know that who told on Durk before, who told on Von before he.
What really turned heads, though, was a leaked message. VNI allegedly texted a friend asking for advice on how to handle a plea deal, and that message made its way out. In the text, he broke down the math, saying he was trying to plea out, explaining point reductions for pleading early and having no prior record. According to his own breakdown, that would land him around 27 points, translating to roughly 5 to 7 years instead of a potential life sentence.
Why would Durk want Von?
Let me give you this. First of all, you didn't sign your rights over. You ain't in no 360 deal. First of all, you can't bring nobody into the business and they surpass you. How you bring me to the table when I pass you up? Don't nobody want their chief spot taken, do they?
That's an interesting
Dude was
thing.
a slack. Dude was a. He was signing the boys. He was a. Vaughn wasn't no slack.
That's interesting. I did find out that Von didn't have any contractual ties to Durk like that, which was interesting.
I mean, come on, man. He wasn't even signed to him. How's this his friend? He lied on Breakfast Club and said, "Hey, you think your man would be sitting here with $300,000 worth of jewelry on and he not have an attorney? He got a public defender."
In one leaked message, VNI flat out says, "I can't go to trial. I don't want to be done like them other guys." And that line alone set alarms off everywhere. He was clearly referencing what happened to OTF Jam at the end of that message, and people instantly knew there was way more fear behind those words than he was letting on. What made it even stranger was what happened next. Once word leaked that VNI might be cooperating, his own father reportedly started calling him out publicly. Even more shocking, his father allegedly claimed VNI had a role in what happened to King Von, and that Durk supposedly knew about it ahead of time. That's a wild accusation, but once fans started digging deeper, the timeline raised serious questions. At the time, Durk and King Von were actually tied together in a legal case involving a man named Alexander Witherspoon. That case was headed toward trial, and things were looking tense. But just months after Von passed, the case suddenly disappeared into a private settlement, and Durk's charges were dropped completely.
No, he ain't take my advice. He ain't respond no back to me because this is on a tablet. He on a jail tablet when I sent that to him. He ain't respond nothing else to him. I told you he can't take my advice because they playing. They made themselves get caught. This is what come along with it. They wanted to get caught. You understand me?
So, that's what you meant by trenches paint. Okay.
What you mean trenches what?
Was it you that said that? With the whole narrative about Bonnie snitching with the text messages? Like, that's...
Yeah. I don't know who said that, but that was me.
But that was a focus. Everybody was trying to make it seem like that's what the text messages was about.
That's just saying what he finna cop out to and this, that, and that. And with me saying Bond, some people like, damn, what he gonna tell on some words on Bond?
I ain't gonna lie. I said that in my video. I'm intrigued to know what the Bond name was for.
No, he ain't gonna tell him no Bond. You gonna tell that just like you orchestrated Lil Pat, you orchestrated this, and guess who you work for?
That shift didn't sit right with a lot of people watching from the outside. Some fans started believing Durk may have benefited from the timing, with theories floating that blame could have quietly shifted onto Von since he was no longer around to defend himself. Whether true or not, that pattern sparked nonstop debate online. Then another detail sent people spiraling. Fans noticed a pattern with Durk's Instagram live activity. They claim he was live almost immediately when King Von, Lil Pab, and FBG Duck passed away.
Really? Dude had a. What about that? A man had a with an extended clip. That's cool though, right?
Now people are asking uncomfortable questions. Was going live just coincidence, or was it a way to create a digital alibi in real time? If questioned later, he could always say he was on Instagram the whole time. Vonnie's father wasn't finished talking, and he doubled down hard, claiming VNI was tied to both Lil Pab and King Von's deaths. That accusation alone sent shockwaves through the internet because it pushed the narrative way deeper than most people expected. And VNI isn't the only one raising red flags.
Come on. Hey, stop it.
I tell you about the money, I swear to God, I tell you about the money, I need to fix my son, I tell you about everything, I swear to God, I tell you, I will tell you, please, I swear, please.
Dee Dee's younger brother, Ted, is now being labeled as another possible cooperator, and that news had rappers and fans panicking. When word spread, people were posting online saying, "Please tell me this isn't real," because the implications were ugly. Here's why Ted matters. He knows a lot about OTF through his brother Dee Dee, who's often described as one of Durk's main shooters.
Wait, hold on. You gotta relax for me, because I can't understand. Relax. What's the number? What you saying, man? We're gonna see what we can do for you, all right? We're gonna see what we can do for you. You gotta relax for me.
Relax, man. I'm gonna get a buzz from prison. Relax.
Give me No, I'm saying, what you talking about? I'm trying to get that.
The wild part is Ted shouldn't have even been wrapped up in this case at all. But everything changed when he got caught at a store with a firearm, and that mistake cracked the door wide open. According to reports, almost as soon as Ted arrived at jail, he started asking about cooperating. Instead of staying quiet, he allegedly began offering information about people he knew who were involved in crimes. Folks expected loyalty, but Ted reportedly folded fast, barely holding it together after stepping out of the squad car. After that, Ted was placed in a holding cell, waiting for officers to come speak with him. And that's when speculation really exploded. People immediately started wondering how much he said and who he mentioned.
They got Lil Durk in a hole for basically some BS. And right now we're going to show the paperwork. They saying that he was caught with a cell phone. And basically that's not true. They trying to keep him in a hole. Do a lot of things that they shouldn't be doing or whatever, but they're trying to make a point because they saying that me and him is privileged and we got so many things going on, and it's a lot of BS.
Despite all these alleged cooperators stacking up, Durk's legal team is still fighting aggressively. It was just announced that Durk filed a new motion to dismiss, arguing the second indictment is too vague. And if the judge doesn't toss it, his lawyers are demanding a bill of particulars to force prosecutors to clearly spell out exactly what evidence they claim to have against him.
There's a First Amendment argument here, right? That this violates the First Amendment. Can you talk about that?
Right, for sure. I mean, I'm expressing myself. I can say the things that I want to say in a rap record or any kind of record. And you could go back and there's country records and there are pop records and there are R&B records that talk about all kinds of things. It's just that there's this notion that with hip hop, quote, glorifying, that suddenly now we're going to use these things to prosecute them. But does that mean that the free speech, First Amendment has gone away? No, absolutely not. He can absolutely rap about what he wants to rap about, and that doesn't mean just because the story is...
And it didn't stop there, because interviews suddenly started dropping the very same day Durk was reportedly targeted inside jail, and that timing raised serious eyebrows. Lil Tim spoke out. Quando said something similar, and fans instantly called it strange, like the energy didn't feel genuine at all. A lot of people believe they were acting extra polite on purpose, trying to look clean and cooperative so the feds wouldn't swing their way. What made it even more suspicious is the fact that two of Durk's biggest rivals just happened to do interviews on the exact same day everything went down. That kind of coincidence had fans side-eyeing the whole rollout.
No bond for Lil Durk. Let me tell you about what options he has left and why the bond was denied this time. Now, he's in federal court on a for hire charge where he faces the possibility of life in prison. What that means is under the federal law, it is presumed that you do not get a bond because the charge and the penalty are so serious. So your lawyer has to go out there and show why you should get a bond. Now, ultimately, what the district judge decided to deny the bond on was a couple of factors. There's a couple $1 million being put up, but it's not all being put up by Durk. Some of it is from the label. And ultimately, Durk has a lot more money and assets than what's being put up. So if I let him out on bond and he tries to flee, he's going to have tons of assets and money at his disposal.
Meanwhile, Durk being sent to solitary only made things worse for his bond chances. That move alone complicated his legal strategy and slowed down momentum his team was building. But not everyone thinks it's over for him just yet. Several defense attorneys online weighed in, saying Durk actually has a solid path once this hits trial. They believe a large chunk of the evidence could get tossed based on First Amendment protections, especially anything tied to lyrics, interviews, or public statements. Durk's lawyers are expected to argue that anything he said publicly was strictly for entertainment, drama, and music promotion. They'll say it was all part of image and marketing, not real-life actions. Even if that approach looks messy or questionable, the defense will push hard on one point. Talking tough doesn't equal committing crimes, and words alone don't prove involvement. At this point, Durk getting bond is looking like a serious uphill battle, and solitary confinement is only making things worse. On top of that, reports say the feds are demanding extreme conditions if bond is even considered. They allegedly want Durk to go broke on paper, give up property, and strip down his assets before they'd even think about letting him out. Their fear is clear. Prosecutors claim Durk has too much money and influence, and they're worried that freedom would give him leverage. They argue he could either leave the country or use his resources to pressure witnesses, and that concern is driving their push to keep him locked up. What really raised eyebrows is the suggestion that the feds believe this might already be happening. Officials reportedly questioned why certain people connected to the case have gone completely silent. One name that keeps coming up is OTF Jam. After being publicly labeled a snitch on DJ Vlad's show, Jam got a lot of attention. And now people are asking the same question everywhere. Has anyone heard from him lately? Several figures tied to this situation have disappeared from public view, and Jam has reportedly been gone for months. That silence is fueling speculation and making the feds even more cautious about granting bond. Now it's on you. Do you think Durk will ever see bond, or are the feds holding the line no matter what? Drop your thoughts in the comments, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video, and we'll catch you on the next one.